Hello, my dear Scorpio. This is your love and spirituality reading for the mid-month of September 2018 with me, Queen of Cups Tarot. This will be the last mid-month reading I do for now. If you ever have felt the need to be at different locations at the same time, you know my problem. I'm behind on a lot of things like administration and booking clients. I'm booking clients actually 2 months ahead, which is too long of a wait. So I hope you will understand and be satisfied with only the monthly readings. So one time each month instead of 2 times a month. I might do some other type of shorter reading to replace the mid-months in the future, maybe starting next year. I will see what I can come up with. I read for the signs in order of most liked videos, so don't forget to hit the thumbs up button for your sign. And thank you all for liking, watching, commenting and subscribing to my channel. I am so grateful for all of your appreciation. The reading can go both ways. The message is for the people who watch it. So if you cross-watch for another sign and recognize yourself as the main person in the reading, just trust your own intuition and you will get the message you need. For this reading, I used the Osho Zen Tarot by Deva Padma, and I will do a 5-card spread for you. So, I'll start shuffling your cards. No, I won't. I will replace your candle. It just burned out. So, like magic, it's lit again, and now I'll do a second attempt here. So, my dear Scorpio, what's in hold for you? We have the 3 of Cups card, celebration in reverse, together with declining to the past, 5 of Cups, 3 of Cups. So this is some kind of nostalgia, longing, sadness over something that has occurred in the past or that might be recently occurring. You're not having access to people in your life that you really love and cherish, or it might be that these people have in some way emotionally disappointed you. It might have been 3-party relationship, but usually this 3 celebration is about this harmony in those really close relationships that you cherish. Sometimes it can be also gossiping or people smack talking behind your back when it's in reverse. When it's like so, it's you see, it's the people that you can go through like really difficult times with and still have like this nice connection. But when it's in this I can feel like I'm holding this card like this. I can feel the longing that you might have for people that you're currently unable to be with, or currently have just fallen out with, or can't get to a harmonious place with. And why you can't get to a harmonious place with them might be because you're holding on to the story of how this relationship have been or how your life has been. And when you're constantly thinking about this, you relive it again and again and again. The best you can do is to start to look at the good things in your life and in your relationships and start to put a lot of attention onto them instead of the things that you didn't really like, because then you will create more of the things you like and less of the things you don't like. So I call the divine with love and light. And here we have the creator in reverse together with declining in the past. So this again emphasizes the fact that you might be creating things in your life that you really don't want because you're focused on reminiscing about the past and past hurt and how people that should have been there that wasn't there for you, how your parents wasn't perfect and things like this. All this can be true, but if you don't want it to kind of repeat in your future over and over and over again, you need to start to you need to heal this, of course, emotionally, but it's a big difference between thinking of it over and over and over again and staying with the pain of it all and putting attention there, like your light of your attention, and healing love. And another thing to think about, oh, I remember what they did to me and they were like so, and it's like this, and they were so unjust and so unfair, and this was how they did me, and this is creating the same old story again, going to reappear in your future. So the divine is kind of saying either you are being with the spiteful fire sign, or you are not being a real good creator at this moment. So it's sometimes it can feel very unfair, because I can walk into a situation and have like really good expectations, like the best of expectations for the situation, and I don't anticipate that anything will go wrong at all. But these things might occur, that something will go wrong, and in those situations I can be perplexed of why this happened, because I had the best expectation that the thing would go all right. But then it's usually something deeper, something we have kind of locked in somewhere, maybe in this box, that we didn't want to look at it. So it's continuing reflecting on our creations in our lives subconsciously, because it's things that we have stored away. So how can we stop this from occurring and reoccurring in our lives? Sometimes we don't have to stop it, because what comes is spiritual lessons that we need to go through. So we just go through them, and we don't make so much fuss about it. We do the best we can in every situation, also with challenges, and welcome the challenges as the spiritual teachers that they are. But we can also start to, a very good way to deal with this is to start to clean out house, storages, boxes, things in your house or in your storages that you can just give away or sell off, or even make a big fire out of it, because this might free a lot of energy for you to create more beautiful things in your life. And that is very symbolical action, but you can also do it internally, staying with the different pains and aches inside of your being, and thereby giving the light of this attention to it, your soul's attention, and thereby healing yourself. So I call the 4 archangels in the 4 corners of the world, and here we see stress, 7 of wands in the reverse, together with clinging to the past. So here, what I'm feeling here, some kind of fear. You fear that this is reappearing because you have done something bad, and that's not true, okay? You haven't done anything bad. You are here to learn. You can make mistakes, things that will like have a karmic effect on you, but you still weren't bad. If you think that you are bad, or that you have done something you weren't supposed to do, this can also have a negative effect on you. So it's better to love yourself fully and support yourself in your own decisions. Also support yourself enough to take yourself through the mistakes that's done. It's much easier for you to acknowledge the mistakes if you don't judge yourself so hard, if you don't chop your head off every time you make something that was not 100% accordingly to plan. So it seems like there's a very sweet situation here, which have actually become very malignant, because you are so scared that you have done something wrong, or that people are going to betray you. So you can have the best relationship with beautiful friends and lovers. We have 6 of Cups here, 6 of Pentacles. So the feminine 6 is connected to the Lover's card, and also flowering there. But because of you feeling that you are not good enough, or that there's something wrong with you, you create a fear inside of you that kind of start to expect the worst. So that was a little bit what I felt with these cards. I call the 6 elements, earth, wind, fire, water, spirit, and ether, to join us here today and to give us a clear view reading for my dear Scorpio viewers. 10 rebirth, 10 of swords. So it's some old junk that's going through your mind again and again, that probably needs to, you need to change those thoughts gradually. It's not an easy job. So first you need to acknowledge what it is that you are thinking, and maybe situation that you kind of endure, even though you shouldn't, because you want to be a good person. So you don't want to make mistakes, so you keep your head down like this dull camel here, but eventually you will start to roar, and maybe that's in this place that you are right now. You're thinking about the injustice in the past and becoming very energetic by like this, but it's a higher frequency to be angry than to be dull like this or depressed. And eventually, if you align with your lion here and say, yes, okay, I'm entitled to be angry, and I did my best in these situations. Maybe you really didn't deserve the treatment you got. You can be angry for a while. And then when you kind of let yourself be angry and align with yourself, there will come like a more adult archetype up in you, like a mother-father archetype that will help you, because as soon as you start to tell yourself that you are good, you are kind of starting to creating this mother-father archetype. And then you can become more innocent like a child because you have the mother-father archetype protection. So it will be easier for you to say, I'm sorry, and to acknowledge your mistake. Yes, it was a mistake. Next time, try to give me a heads up when you see that I'm about to do this mistake again. And I will really try to keep it in mind. And, we will be less attached to our problems. We will be more open to changing them because we know it's not judging us that we have these problems. It's just how we are perfectly flawed and how the journey that we are on, acknowledging that we don't need to be perfect and like a finished end product. We are here to learn. So the more you can accept yourself as you are and be nice towards yourself, the more genuine you can be, the more you can open up and be vulnerable and admit to mistakes and say that you're sorry and love other people and be happy. So happiness is the goal here. So, my dear Scorpio, I don't know how far I get with the prayer and all, but I really want you to have love and loving relationships and reach the highest part to your highest destiny. So now I'm going to tune in for a few seconds here. It's also mysterious. The Three of Cups have come for a lot of signs. Maybe both Libra, Aquarius, and Scorpio that I did today. So maybe it's something in the air. This is your reading there. This is bottom of the deck. We have 9 of Cups there. In this deck, it's called laziness, because sometimes when we have it all, we can start to become like take things for granted. But in this context, I'm thinking it's more about you envisioning what it is that you really want to reach to. Start to see what it is that you want to create in your life. That can be a better occupation for you instead of thinking about what went wrong in the past, what you can create for tomorrow. It might not be as yummy, because sometimes we can be very addicted to thinking bad thoughts about what we have been through, because it's releasing certain chemicals in your body that you might be a little bit addicted to. But you need to change sometime. You need to start somewhere. And here in the other half, we have adventure. It's the Page of Coins. So it's talking again about this little child that needs protection from you, to like love yourself instead of ambushing yourself or judging yourself, so that you can go on the life adventure and learn as much as you possibly can from this. Okay, so my dear Scorpio, this is you, and this is your past, and this is your future. And this is the past of the outside energy, circumstances, people, the divine that has been working with you. And this is the future of the same thing. So right now with you, we have silence in the reverse. It's the Star card. And in the reverse, it shows kind of loss of hope. So again, it comes up this with the you don't love yourself enough. You don't align with yourself enough. You don't believe that you don't have the self-confidence to believe that things can go or can become all right for you. So sometimes you might sink to this point where you feel that, why am I here? I'm wasting my time. My life is not fulfilling. So it's like this melancholy that we can sometimes have. But the Star card is never a bad card. So it kind of just says that this is like a little bit of bump in the road, or the lower part of the wave, and it will come a higher wave soon here. So you're always very taken care of, and it's kind of the situation where maybe it was Jesus or God who said this. There was a man that was walking on the beach, and he looked together with, we say Jesus then, on this walk on the beach, that he was going, this man, and he saw that there was always two footprints. So that was when Jesus were going side by side with this person walking on the beach. And the walking on the beach is your life, of course. But he saw also, when he was on the most tricky part of his life, that there were only one set of footprints. So he felt very abandoned and asked Jesus, why were I alone here when I had the most trickiest time of my life? Why weren't you there helping me? I really suffered at this point, I remember. And then Jesus said, well, at that point, I carried you. So it's a very beautiful story. And it's kind of what I'm seeing here, that sometimes when you feel very abandoned, you're actually not. You're very well taken care of. You just don't know it. And you don't know your own significance either. Okay, so this is your past. And we have Beyond Illusion. So Beyond Illusion is the Judgment card. And it's talking about seeing things from an above perspective instead of the frog perspective. And I think you have had a frog perspective on yourself and your life for a time, especially when you have been a little bit down. And thereby you have also judged yourself in the way that I saw in the previous cards, because you haven't seen the whole story. You can't see the whole web that's woven here. You can only see maybe the little thread that is you, but you can't see the spectacular overview over this beautiful fabric. Only divine can see this and see why you are here and what's your purpose and what was the purpose of that and the other thing. So it's going to be revealed for you at some point, but right now it's like you can't see it. You can't see your own beauty and the beauty in the things you do. But these are beautiful major arcana cards. So they are saying that you are kind of walking through a very spiritual part of your life right now, and you are very helped, and there's a lot of like all eyes are on you, Scorpio, to help you through this, because it's actually a very positive thing that's happening, even if it maybe doesn't feel exactly like this. It's like a little bit of a purge, and also a beautiful lesson that will give you a long-lasting wisdom for the time to come. So here in the future we have Abundance in the reversed. So Abundance in the reversed, this King of Pentacles in the reversed, is not a particularly good card. It's a situation with a person that might not like let you in their beautiful castle garden. So it's like you are being on the outside. It might be you doing this to other, like building up walls around you to not let anyone enter your garden. And it might be what you need to do for a while. As I said, don't judge yourself. If you need to be a little bit on edge for a while to kind of see where you ends and another person begins, and what you are allowed to do. How are you allowed to say no? Are you allowed to listen to yourself? Are you allowed to follow your own feelings? So it might be a time when you will act very stubborn and being like a little bit of erratically holding on to like your views and other things like this, and not really letting other people come close to you. But it might also be that this is what has caused you to not love yourself in the first place, not being really among people that understands you and lets you in, and might be that you're living in circumstances that lacks the love vibration. For example, if you are a very spiritual creature and you are about to go to your work, that's a 9-to-5 job, that might be a little bit like not so very spiritual, or it's something that you do to increase money. You don't do it because it makes you happy. You don't just want money out of it. And here nobody understands you, so it's like you're an alien on this place, and they can't really accept you and make you one of their own because you are so different. And this can be something that you need to face again and realize that it's not personal. It's just different. You are on different levels of development, and maybe whole different branches of development. Maybe you have you find yourself at this place because you have bought into someone else's worldview, and thought that, well, they seem to have their shit together. They seem to know what they are doing, so I'm going to do the same thing. My mother said I need to get a good job, so I'm doing this. I'm not happy here, and I don't recognize these people as people that can understand me, but I'm still here doing this because I want to be a good person. But actually you might be on the total wrong place, but it's not the wrong place for you to learn this thing, but it might not be the place to make you happy. So if I am to put it correctly, it's still a beautiful place for you to learn this, because you couldn't have learned this in any other way. You just thought that, oh, this is normal, everyone doing this. But since you are here and you don't feel really invited, maybe this is not the actual place for you. So it can be in any kind of situation. Doesn't have to be work. It can be like a partner that doesn't, it's not an intimate part. Like it's very problematic to be intimate with this person, or to go really in depth with conversation or love. It might be that people are trying to top ride you a little bit and always know better than you, and kind of judge your all the things that you say and do. So you can never own up to being one of them. You will always be submissive. But Scorpio is not a submissive sign. So if you are doing this, you're just doing it because you think it will give you something. You will gain from it. For example, money or love or something else. But if you would be more brave to actually walk your own unique path, I think you have a much better possibility to reach to your own blissful place and happiness. Okay, so we'll see what's going on with the outside energies, and it's fighting here. So that might be why you have put yourself in the fortress here. If this is fighting, so sometimes we can have these arguments in our heads, even if the person isn't there, and we might have a problem to say it to their face. So it might be someone, as I said, with the Three of Cups in reverse, that might be gossiping about you, or maybe they just think bad thoughts about you in their head. So it's like you feel that there's an ongoing struggle between you two. You might feel that there's a disharmony, but it's not being fully said. Maybe it can be sometimes with the fighting here, Knight of Swords in reverse. It can be someone that's really malicious and very harsh with their words. But what I'm feeling here with this combination is that there's things being like people are thinking things, but they are not saying it to your face. So this is of course an awkward situation. We want people to be happy and love us, but we can't control this. If people doesn't like you, well, I wouldn't give them so much time of day. I would aim my energy towards people that actually did like me. If people have a problem with me and would attack me at different occasions, they would know that this is not a good thing to do, because I would say no very forcefully, that they have to stop with what they are doing. So it's probably much needed protection that you have here with the King of Pentacles in reverse, that you need to become very stubborn and like really a father figure, that this is mine and you don't you don't have access to it, and I'm protecting myself and I'm closing the door in your face. So you might have to become really strong. Maybe this is what this situation wants you to find out, how strong you are, how stubborn you can be. Like, no, I'm not going to yield. I have tried everything. I have like really tried to be everything you wanted, But here I'm deciding that I'm going to align with my soul. It's like you're going a little bit inwardly with these energies here. That's very like sky-like. So you're visiting the realms of your soul and deciding upon things. How you do this is, for example, to feel how things feel inside your chest. I'm going to go to work tomorrow. How does that feel inside your chest? I realize it's Saturday, but many people work on Saturdays nowadays. So if it feels like, yay, I will go to work, that's a good thing. But it feels, no, you don't want to. Maybe you need to do something about that. So, okay. And this is the future of this situation. And we have the Six of Wands in the reversed. So I'm thinking there's going to be some butting of heads. Six of Wands, it feels like maybe both of these energies have the Six of Wands in the reverse, like not going to make a win-win situation. I'm going to ride my tiger and be blissful with what I know. I'm not going to understand what you are saying. So it's not really negative, like super negative. It feels more like a situation where we turn to our pride and our self-perseverance, and we are not going to yield. It's not the Five of Swords kind of winning. It's the Six of Wands. It's in the reversed, so it's not the win-win situation that the Six of Wands in the upright can mean, but it's not super bad either. I'm thinking that this is a war that's necessary for your development as a person. So don't yield. Okay, if you feel like, oh, I made a mistake, and you feel terrible about it, yield immediately. You can yield, it's no problem. But if you have been struggling with, like, you are trying to subordinate yourself, and now it's like as far as you want to go and enough is enough, then don't yield. As soon as this person maybe explain themselves better and say, well, this is why I have such a problem with this, and you understand it, then you can say, oh yes, okay, I understand. That's not a problem, because this is how I really feel. So then it can be easily solved. We don't have to stay in our stubbornness just, because the sake of it. But as long as you feel that you are right and entitled, don't yield. So it's like you're changing something. It's very mild here, and like humble, and then suddenly you are at war. So I'm thinking, before, when you were humble, maybe there was no war. And now when you're not so humble anymore, but actually starting to show your true qualities and what you really want and what you don't want, maybe then there's war, and people are starting to think that this is a problem. But it won't be a problem for long. It seems, actually, it doesn't feel bad at all. It feels very supportive. But you will probably see it as a big change in your personality, and that you're doing something that you wouldn't have done before. Maybe butting head with someone, usually maybe you would just have, not going into conflict. But here maybe you will say more directly what it is that you see to protect yourself. So I don't think this is a bad thing. I'm going to actually read a judgment card, because I'm thinking this is all about your judgment. You need to learn to use your judgment in a new way that's more flexible. You can't just choose to always butt heads or always yield. You need to listen to your intuition more intuitive, like really staying with your intuition and asking yourself, how do I want to make a decision here? What kind of decision do I want to make here? Okay. The butterfly in this card represents the outer, that which is constantly moving, and which is not real but an illusion. Behind the butterfly is the face of consciousness, looking inward to that which is eternal. The space between the two eyes has opened, revealing the lotus of consciousness unfolding and the rising sun of awareness awakening. The card reminds us not to look outside for what is real, but to look within. When we focus on externals, we too often get caught up in judgment. This is good, this is bad, I want this, I don't want that. These judgments keep us trapped in our illusions, our sleepiness, our old habits and patterns. Drop your opinionated mind and move inside. There you can relax into your own deepest truth, where the difference between dreams and reality is already known. I, however, think that this with I want this, I don't want that is very good, because people don't often know what they want. They just do things because, well, this is how you should do it. You should go to your work. You should have a wife. You should have a husband. You should have children. You should think like this way in politics. You should think like this when it comes to money. But no one has really asked themselves, and not that often anyway, what do I really want? What do I really like? And when we don't listen to ourselves, we can create like small phobias. For example, I can't ever go out in public. Why can't you go out in public? The truth would be probably that I don't have any boundaries. They could tell me to do whatever and I would have to obey them, so I don't want to go out in public. So when we start to know what we want and don't want and can voice this, that is making us much more adult and stronger and cooler and calmer and more peaceful, taking things less personal, being more sure, things like this. The only distinction between a dream and the real is that reality allows you to doubt and dream does not allow you to doubt. To me, the capacity to doubt is one of the greatest blessings to humanity. The religions have been enemies because they have been cutting the very roots of doubt. And there is a reason why they have been doing that. They want people to believe in certain illusions that they have been preaching, like you are evil, for example, and not good and sinful. Why have people like Gautam Buddha been so insistent that the whole of existence, except your witnessing self, except your awareness, your I, is just ephemeral, made of the same stuff as dreams are made of? They are not saying that these trees are not there. They are not saying that these pillars are not there. Don't misunderstand because of the word illusion. The word Maya has been translated as illusion, but illusion is not the right word. Illusion does not exist. Reality exists. Maya is just in between. It almost exists. As far as day-to-day activities are concerned, it can be taken as reality. Only in ultimate sense, from the peak of your illumination, does it become unreal, illusory. It's kind of a distinction that you can make, that you are the witness. But what you are a witness, you can't really be sure that it's real. You can be sure that you have a consciousness, that you are awake. You are aware of that you are awake. And you're also aware of different things in your surrounding, but you don't know if they are real or if they are not real. The consciousness is real. So I hope I'm not making it worse for you with my explanations. So, okay, so we will jump onto the Sacred Rebels, Alana Fairchild, Sacred Rebels, Oracle, and see what's in store for Scorpio. Second half of September, so mid-September to beginning of October. Thank you. Oh, what a surprise. I think I have read, I'm soon to be able to not use the book, I can just repeat, but I'm thinking we are all going through this right now. Like a sacred rebellion, starting to understand that our own self, our own awareness is the thing that we need to follow, not someone else's rule book. So there's a mythic woman much maligned throughout history whose name means all gifted. Pandora lives within us as our curious nature, yearning to conquer chaos, evil and darkness with the light of knowledge. She is the hopeful voice of our soul that asks the question and, in doing so, triggers the process that brings the answers. Sometimes it is through uncomfortable learning that we find our treasure. Pandora reminds us that the process of learning can take us to places that seem like the end of our world, and yet all is not lost. Even now, the light within you is stirring for new revelation, new life, and new adventure. So it's fine that the learning process is taking you to the end of the world, making mistakes or feeling like all is lost, because it's a part of your learning process. Pandora is all gifted and all giving. Her presence invites you to forego your belief in judgment again. And now it's time to surrender the misplaced guilt that you may have brought upon yourself and another some terrible happening. It is time to let go of the shame-based belief in punishment. This is a belief that you deserve to be brought to task over any perceived imperfection, or that your natural human journey somehow renders you inadequate. Pandora frees the soul from such torment. This is her gift. The human journey necessarily involves learning through experience. There is no shame in your learning process. Pandora's presence is the sign of a new time, a time to swap the notion of inherent shame for the acceptance of inherent divinity. So instead of being a sinful creature, you are a divine creature. That's much more nice, yes. From this moment on, how unstoppable you shall become. Sacred rebellion is happening within your soul as a powerful uprising towards liberation. You are breaking free from the weighty criticism of the world, from the power games that bore you senseless, and from the insanity of sacrilegious priorities in this world. Dare to disobey. This was what I said from the beginning. Dare to disobey anything and everything that is not divine. So it's what I was saying, that dare to disobey and find your own way forward, and that will be the divine way, because then you are aligning with your soul. Pandora is the leader of your soul revolution. She defies the vicious judgment of history and all that has been said about her. She shrugs off misery, despair, and the weight of the world to recognize that she is the bearer of the true and beautiful light of peace, comfort, hope, and reassurance. With her oracle comes the realization that you too are divinely defiant believer in hope. Hope. The silence card there, star card, is about hope. Yes, hope. Who shall cast off the works of anyone who seeks to torment you? Tormention is going on here, and you are casting it off. So that's why this feels positive. As this shift takes place, you shall dare to look within your own being and find the light. You are being put on divine notice from the sacred feminine that there is a talent and an ability within you that needs to be acknowledged. There is worthy seed of something beautiful necessary within you. If you choose to develop and express this seed, and that means your true self, like following your own instincts, step by step, it will become an extraordinary light in your life and in the world. So poke your tongue out at the naysayers, this line again, and turn your attention to the bright hope within. You were born to strut your soul stuff. Okay, so my dear Scorpio, I hope this helped. I want you to take really good care. I also want to welcome you back to the October monthly reading that I will perform in the mid-month of September. So from then on, I will do one general reading a month for each sign. So in the mid of October for November, in the mid of November for December, and so on. So take care until we see each other next time. Okay, bye-bye.